What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Sports here, back with another video. And today I'm in the same location as my last video. I'm using the new camera that I got. And today, as you can see from the title, I'm going to be doing a NHL trade deadline preview. I'm not going to really guess too much where the players are going to be traded. But I'm going to go through a list that I found from the hockeywriters.com. NHL.com had a list, but they only had 20 players. This list has 25. I'm going to try not to use a ton of cuts in this video because I just kind of want to have a conversation with you guys. Leave your comments down below who you think is going to get traded and, you know, what you want to see happen. I know everybody loves the trade deadline. I do. It's like Christmas for hockey fans, I guess. And yeah, also I'm probably going to be doing a couple hours of live streaming on the deadline day, so if you want to check that out, it'll probably be on YouTube. If you want to follow me on Twitter at Andy Piluk, or check out my Facebook, I'll put the links there. Just check for updates when I'm going to be going live on YouTube, I guess. It'll probably be for a couple hours. I wouldn't stay on there all day. I have some schoolwork and stuff to get done. So yeah, I'm going to be going from 25 to 1. I'm going to try to not make this too long because, I mean, 25 players, I don't want to go too crazy in depth. And I know you guys probably don't want to sit through me guessing for 5 minutes for each player. So I'm just going to have a general, you know, not really guess, but just this list also has where they think they're going to go. So the columns go by the top 25, the picture of the player details, and the linked teams. So I'll give you guys the linked teams for each player that's listed on here. So yeah, I mean, this is not necessarily my list, but this is the 25 that the Hockey Writers had, and NHL.com had a similar list, I guess. Similar players, so we'll get right into this. Number 25 is P.A. Parento. His salary right now is just over $1 million, and the linked teams are Edmonton, Chicago, and San Jose. Now, P.A. Parento was a guy that I liked when he played for the Leafs, and you know, I heard that the Leafs were actually trying to get a deal done with him in the summer or whatever. It was kind of like they were trying to get a deal done, but at the same time they knew they had an abundance of wingers and stuff, so they weren't really going all in on him. He's had a pretty good year for the Devils. He's a guy that I'm surprised that they would want to trade unless they figure they'll just grab him again in free agency. I think he only has a 1-year deal, so trading him away to get a pick or something like that, and you know, taking another chance on him the next year, I mean, I would do it. And if I'm New Jersey, maybe you don't even trade him. But I mean, I guess any one of those teams would suit him. Number 24 is Brendan Smith. I've heard the Leafs are, you know, interested a little bit, but again, I can't. There's so many fake Twitter accounts. Steve Dangle even said it. Like, if it doesn't come from a verified source, I don't really, you know, think it's legit. But Brendan Smith is a defenseman, and the linked teams are Edmonton, Montreal, Pittsburgh, New York. I would think more of Edmonton and New York. I know they're both going for the New York Rangers. They're both going for defensemen, and the Leafs, I mean, maybe they'll check in on him. His salary is just over $2 million, so he'd be a decent pickup. Number 23 is Matthew Perreault. 29 years old, $3 million salary. Again, they don't list how long their contracts are. Some of these players I know how long their contract is, but I'm not too exact on everybody. And the linked teams are Florida, Ottawa, and the Islanders. Again, I can't see this guy getting dealt. When they play the Leafs, he's a noticeable guy. And you don't hear too much about him. He could be a good depth move for any one of those teams. And again, the teams that are linked on here aren't the for sure teams that are after him. These are just what people have been hearing, I guess. Number 22 is Ron Hainsey, and he was already traded. He was traded to Pittsburgh for a 2017 second-round pick and, forward Danny Cristo. I actually like that deal because Pittsburgh's had some injury trouble on the blue line, so always, you know, picking up like depth defensemen is always good, and I'm pretty sure this deadline there's going to be a lot of depth pieces moved. It's been talked about that I think it was maybe Steve Dangle that said it was like the year of the depth defenseman. I can't remember if that was him who said that, but I mean, he's right. If that like a lot of depth defensemen are what teams are going for this year, and I hope the Leafs maybe, you know, for a 3rd or 4th round pick grab a defenseman probably a second with the, the way the deals have been going lately. Number 21, I'm surprised by this, is Andre Pavlik, Edmonton, New York, and St. Louis. I mean, sure, everybody needs a good, solid backup goaltender, but that would be taking a bit of a risk because he hasn't had the most ideal season, so maybe he strikes a deal. Number 20, Alex Burrows, and the only team linked there is Montreal, and I've heard a lot of people talk about this. That would be a decent fit, I guess. It'd be a weird fit to me. I only see Burrows in a Canucks jersey, so I mean, go for it. If you want to go for him, then sure, but I don't know. Again, in Montreal, I don't know if that's the best locker room fit, though. I don't know. I can't see him getting moved, and I'm sure Canucks, they want way too much for him. Number 19, I better speed this up. Johnny Oduya, defenseman. Linked teams are Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, Winnipeg, and New York. Again, Johnny Oduya is probably a guy that he's getting paid just over $3 million. He's probably a good defenseman to pick up. Again, I don't know if I'd see him get dealt. They probably want too much for him as well. I don't know, probably a second pick and a roster player maybe. But again, just another guy I think is going to stay put. Number 18 is Yannick Hansen, 30 years old. Florida, in Ottawa, New York, and Calgary is linked. I think Calgary would be a good fit. Yannick Hansen would probably fit in pretty well. There's a depth piece for them. Again, like I said, just depth pieces, man. And I just spit. Number 17, Dmitry Kulikov, defenseman. Now, this is a guy I'm interested in. Pittsburgh, Washington, Edmonton, Toronto. This is really interesting because I feel like Kulikov's going to be one of those guys that comes to the last minute of getting dealt, unless, as I'm making this video, he gets dealt. Because I know the second I post this, somebody's getting traded and I'm going to look stupid. But again, he's a piece I would be looking at. Like, if I'm Pittsburgh, they've already made a deal, so I'm not sure about that. Washington, I'm not sure how much cap room they have, and he's got a $4 million salary, just over $4 million. Edmonton's a team that I could really see him going to. Toronto, not so much. Number 16, Brian Boyle. Edmonton, Columbus, New York, and Chicago have been linked. And this surprises me a little bit because Brian Boyle's been linked to the Leafs as well. And they want a first-round pick for Brian Boyle. I'm really hoping that that's a joke because, I mean, he's like a third or fourth line centerman at best. Third or fourth line player at best. I'm not even sure if he plays center. It says that he plays left wing here, but for some reason I seen a post that said he played center earlier. So, Edmonton, Columbus, New York, Chicago. Again, I'm not sure, but Edmonton's been linked to him for a while now, so I wouldn't be surprised there. Jerome McGinley, Calgary, Edmonton, San Jose, Los Angeles. As, a Canadian, I guess I'd be a little bit selfish to say I want him to go back to Calgary, but I'm sure everybody would like to see that. That would be such a cool story, but he wants to go to a contender, and again, Edmonton's been linked to him for a while. San Jose and Los Angeles probably be good fits. Again, he could probably play anywhere. Shane Doan, I guarantee you that Arizona wants way too much. And again, that's not hating on Shane Doan. It's just, is it really worth it? Because he's 40 years old and he clearly doesn't want to leave Arizona. If he decides to come back and play a couple more years, he's more than likely going to sign back in Arizona. The linked teams are Pittsburgh, Washington, New York, and Anaheim. Just the killer teams are always interested in the top guys. Again, I call Shane Doan a top guy because, I mean, if you get him in the playoffs, I think he'll perform a little bit better than people expect. I could see him going to the Rangers for sure. Patrick Berglund is number 13. Linked teams are Montreal, the Islanders, and the Rangers. Now, this is another interesting one for me. I'm not too sure where he would go, but I don't know. He's a good centerman, good depth move. He's only 28, so that would be a good fit. Patrick Sharp at number 12, that would be interesting. Sorry if I'm going too fast. I don't want to bore you guys to tears. I just want to let you guys know some of the players that have been linked and on the block, I guess. Patrick Sharp, he's got a $6 million cap hit, or his salary is 5.9. Linked teams, Pittsburgh, San Jose, New York. I can't see him getting dealt. I'm just going to say that. Evander Kane at number 11, another guy I can't see getting dealt. And they say that Detroit and St. Louis is the teams that are linked. I don't know why Detroit would be on here. They're not a contender. And unless they're going to rebuild with Evander Kane, I don't know why that they would even be involved in that. St. Louis, again, I'm not sure if that's a fit. Michael Stone was number 10 on here, but of course he was traded to Calgary for a 3rd round pick and a conditional 5th round pick in 2018. I really like this deal. That's a good depth move for a defenseman. He's only 26, and if they can keep him and maybe re-sign him next year, I'm pretty sure he's only on the 1-year deal. That'd be a good fit. Again, just a good piece, and another defenseman that's got traded. Number 9, Patrick Eaves, and he was already traded to Anaheim for a conditional 2nd round pick in 2017, so that was a good deal. Number 8, Marc-Andre Fleury. The linked teams are Calgary, Carolina, Winnipeg, and St. Louis. He's been linked to Calgary again for a while. I can't see it happening. Carolina, Winnipeg, St. Louis. I don't know. I still don't think he's getting dealt. I don't know. I don't know what to say about Marc-Andre Fleury because I really don't think he's getting dealt. Number 7, Gabriel Landeskog. Again, sorry, but I don't think he's getting dealt. Linked teams are the Rangers, Los Angeles, Boston, and Ottawa. It seems that Boston's been in on Landeskog and Duchesne for a while. The most realistic thing here is, and the one that would make sense to me, is if he went to the Rangers or the Senators. I just feel like those are good fits for him. Number 6 is Thomas Vanek, and they have him listed at number 6, and I'm not sure if I would agree with that. I think I would have him in like the 10 to 15 range. Ottawa, Anaheim, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Chicago are linked to him. Let me just quickly check here. Vanek plays for the Red Wings. I'm almost positive because I heard. Yeah, he plays for the Red Wings still. I was wondering why the picture of him here has him in an Islanders helmet, and he doesn't play for them anymore. I'm almost positive. Yeah, that's an Islanders helmet. Again, Detroit has been thinking about re-signing him. That would be such a bad move. I wouldn't do that. I think it would be better off if they just traded him and got a 2nd and then just was gone from that. He could probably still perform this year, but I'm not too sure what the future holds for him, especially if he's going to want an increase from $2.5 million. No, I don't think so. Number 5, Ben Bishop has been in literally every trade rumor for the past 2 years. Calgary, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Philadelphia, and Anaheim are linked. Calgary's the team that was apparently really close to acquiring him last year at the deadline, and they're still linked to him. Calgary's just looking for goaltenders, I guess. And, I mean, sure, the Elliott thing didn't work out, but I wouldn't give up on that right away. But, hey, if Calgary wants to be serious, go and grab a goaltender then. I guess I could put them in there. St. Louis is the team that I think he'll go to if I was to make a bet, I guess. Number 4, Radim Vrabada. I literally just said his name before I started the video. Ottawa, Chicago, Columbus, San Jose, and Anaheim are linked. I actually really like the way he plays the game. I've actually been watching the NHL Game Center. I've watched a lot of Arizona games this year because I wanted to see where they are in development wise. And I like the way they play as a team. I mean, they're not very good, but you can see that they're making a little bit of progress, and I like the way he plays. So he would be a good pickup for just over $1 million, $1.5 million. I mean, good depth piece. He's 35. Ottawa, Chicago, Columbus, San Jose, Anaheim. I could see a Columbus or a Chicago. Number 3, Matt Duchesne. Again, I just don't think he's getting traded. Okay, back. Sorry, I had to cut that real quick. My dog was barking. Matt Duchesne, Montreal, Nashville, New York Islanders, St. Louis, and Ottawa are linked to him. And again, I just can't see him getting traded. If he did, I thought Boston was in on him as well. But I don't know. Ottawa seems to be a dark horse for me when it comes to some of these big names. But I'm going to leave it there because I don't think Matt Duchesne's getting traded. Number 2, Martin Hanzal has Montreal, Edmonton, Washington, Pittsburgh, and Minnesota linked. For some reason, I think he'll end up in Boston. I don't know. I just had this weird feeling he'd be in Boston when I was reading an article on him last week. But I could see maybe a Washington or a Minnesota pick him up. I think he'd be a good fit on those teams. Again, like I said, I've watched a bit of Arizona games this year, and I like the way Hanzal plays. He's not a number 2 on a list every year, but I mean, for this year, I think the deadline's going to be a little quiet. But I could see him getting dealt. I'm pretty sure he will. Sorry, my dog was barking. I had to make another cut. So number 1 on the top 25 available players from the Hockey Writers is Kevin Shattenkirk. So the linked teams are New York Rangers, Edmonton, New Jersey, Boston, and Tampa Bay. The most I've heard about is Boston and New York. So do I think he's getting dealt? No. Do I think he get dealt in the summer? Yes. Just like I was about to say I think I might have been able to say it before my dog barked, but Matt Duchene probably going to get dealt in the summer, my opinion. And again, I'm not sure why they wouldn't want to build around Duchene and Landeskog and all those guys. They're still going to get a wicked pick. I would just hold on to those guys unless they're trying to make cap room. But Shattenkirk, the Leafs have been linked to him, and it's not going to happen. If anything, they're going to go after him in the summer maybe. They're not going to be able to offer as much money, though, and I keep trying to tell people that. But I could see Shattenkirk, if he gets dealt, going to New York or Boston. This video is 16 minutes, and I don't want to bore you guys to death. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, there will probably be a live stream on YouTube on deadline day. This was my top 25 from the Hockey Writers, my opinion. Thank you to the Hockey Writers for making posts like this. I enjoy reading stuff like this and sharing it with you guys. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a comment who you think's getting traded, and see you later. Peace.